only thing that can be said to be objective truth is that there is no objective truth.
It does come out in one piece. It comes out in one piece.
I would argue that we certainly are not all created equal.
And now, here's Mark.
That's right, Mark Harrington coming to you live here. We've got breaking news coming out of Ohio here, the Ohio State House, where the bill that is dealing with the disposal of fetal remains, the humane disposal of fetal remains, has come before a Senate committee, a hearing today at the Ohio State House, and there's been a vote. And we're going to report on that live here on Created Equal's Facebook page and other media platforms. So stick around for about the next 15 minutes. This is big news coming out of Ohio that the Ohio Senate Committee, it's the Senate Government Oversight and Reform Committee, has voted on a bill to allow for the humane disposal of fetal remains after abortion. So stick with us. But what I want to do first is bring you up to speed as to where we are in Ohio regarding this whole issue of so-called biological or medical waste coming from abortion clinics. We want to go back a little bit. Now, it's almost been 2 years, a little more than 2 years, that the videos came out regarding the Center for Medical Progress showing Renee Chillian, an abortionist in Michigan, talking about how fetal remains they were having difficulty disposing of them. And at that point, the Attorney General in Ohio launched an investigation of Planned Parenthood to see whether they were selling baby body parts in the state of Ohio. And that's what began this whole process of the Ohio legislature revisiting this question of what happens to an aborted baby after the baby is killed. And that's what our Attorney General, Mike DeWine, did 2 years ago. So what I want to do, I'm going to play a video clip. This is Mike DeWine, our Attorney General, 2 years ago now, 2 years, talking about the investigation of Planned Parenthood into the body parts trafficking. Remember that they were caught on video numerous times by the Center for Medical Progress talking about the sale and trafficking of human baby body parts after abortion. And here's the Attorney General talking about their findings. This was 2 years ago as he addressed the media and the Ohio citizens. So if you would, let's play this video clip. This talks about his findings regarding the body parts scandal of Planned Parenthood.
Of fetuses through Acu Medical Waste Incorporated, which is based in Marietta. We found that these fetuses were steam cooked and then were taken to a Kentucky landfill. So for the Columbus Planned Parenthood, the Cincinnati Planned Parenthood, the fetuses from both of these facilities are taken, first are steam cooked, then they are taken to a Kentucky landfill. In regard to the Bedford Heights facility, Stericycle out of Illinois is the company that they give the fetuses to, transport the fetuses. There is a portion of the contract that the Bedford Heights Planned Parenthood has with Stericycle, which says that Stericycle will not accept fetuses. However, fetuses, we are told by Planned Parenthood's attorney that fetuses are going to Stericycle. We do not know where they end up.
You can end it there if you'd like. Go ahead and end it there. Now, here's a little bit of backstory, and that is that the Attorney General in Ohio launched this investigation of Planned Parenthood to find out whether they were dealing in body parts, aborted baby body parts after abortion. And they did not find that, at least in the state of Ohio, that they were doing that. Now, of course, there's ongoing investigations, and now the Attorney General of the United States is actually looking into this, thank God. But what they did find is that these medical waste, so-called medical waste companies, specifically AccuMedical Waste out of Marietta, and Stericycle, the multi-billion-dollar, multinational, global medical waste company, was involved in taking dead baby body parts, steam cooking them, and I'm going to get to that in a minute, steam cooking them, and then throwing them in landfills. This, and if you watch the video further, the Attorney General is asked the legislature of Ohio to deal with this problem, because there was already a law on the books that said that fetal remains had to be dealt with, quote, humanely, unquote. Now, they didn't define what humane meant. So that's what the legislature is doing right now. But what I'm going to get back to this. The AccuMedical and Stericycle were found that they were throwing these babies in dumpster or in landfills, treating them like common garbage. This is what was released 2 years ago. Now, since then, of course, the legislature has introduced these bills. Now, if you would, Mr. Producer, bring up the next video. This is a 10 TV local Columbus affiliate of CBS talking about this whole issue of steam cooking. Babies are killed. Get this. Babies are killed and then they're steam cooked and then thrown in landfills. Go ahead and play that clip.
AccuMedical Waste took fetal remains from Planned Parenthood in Columbus. Those remains were taken to AccuMedical's facility in northern Kentucky. We were not allowed inside. 10 Investigates used pictures and records from the state of Kentucky to show what was going on inside. They show medical waste was put in this high-pressure chamber using intense steam heat and then compacted. The records show the results are sent here to nearby Green Valley landfill. State inspectors' pictures show a normal landfill. There were no state violations for receiving improperly treated medical waste, the Ohio Attorney General claimed. Planned Parenthood of Ohio also noted that Ohio previously had no issue with treatment of remains. Stephanie Kaitis, CEO of Planned Parenthood of Greater Ohio.
We've always been found to be in compliance, always.
By who?
Yeah, in compliance of killing babies.
Ohio Department of Health.
We asked Attorney General DeWine to explain how he thought the fetal remains were being disposed.
We found that Planned Parenthood was disposing of fetuses by going through this steam heat process, and then those intact body of the fetus was taken to a landfill.
But autoclaving experts and Kentucky state inspectors say DeWine is wrong. Kentucky officials say no one from the...
Here's the deal, folks. I don't know about you, but this should make you sick to your stomach. It's bad enough. I mean, the babies are dying, right? We know that. Planned Parenthood murders children, kills them by abortion. Now we know that they were steam cooking them and throwing them in landfills using the companies of Stericycle and AccuMedical Waste. Like common garbage, babies being killed or thrown in landfills. Now, the Planned Parenthood representative said that they complied with all laws. Well, I mean, okay. So that's why the laws need to be changed. And that's why, if we go fast forward to today, we have this bill that's been heard now in the Senate hearing of the Government Oversight and Reform Committee, heard proponent and opponent testimony today on a bill that would basically create the situation to which Planned Parenthood and other abortion facilities would be required to provide a formal burial, if necessary, or cremation for the aborted babies that they kill in their abortion clinics. Let me be clear up front. I'm not crazy about these types of legislation as far as it goes, but I mean, because we want to end abortion, we want to completely abolish it. That's what our aim is. But as long as abortion is legal, let's force these people, because they wouldn't do it otherwise, because they treat babies like garbage anyway because they kill them, right? But let's force these people to treat them humanely by providing a proper burial or cremation. That's what this law does. Yet, the baby killers on the other side of this debate, Planned Parenthood, NARAL, they've never seen an abortion they don't like, and they would rather these children be thrown in common garbage and treated like trash than be given a proper burial or a cremation. You would think that at least we could find some common ground somewhere, that maybe we could at least provide a proper resting place for these babies and they wouldn't just be mixed in with your common garbage from your kitchen or what have you. But no, not NARAL, not the National Dismemberment Action League. No, not them. They like I say, they love killing children, and they will never work to provide any kind of dignity for preborn babies. So that brings us to today in this Senate hearing, Senate Bill 28 in the Ohio legislature had a hearing today, and we want to go right now to our external affairs director, Gabe Vance, who's at the Ohio State House to give us an update as to the status of SB 28, this bill that would provide a proper burial cremation for aborted babies after abortion. Gabe, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mark.
All right, good. So if you would give us a quick update, this bill, SB 28, was before the Senate Government Oversight and Reform Committee today. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, so Senate bill, it was introduced in February, and then it was kind of set aside for a while, and it just got resurrected this December, and there was a hearing last month. And then there was another hearing today, which is a third hearing in that Senate committee, the Government Oversight and Reform. And today we had proponent and opponent testimonies from both sides of the supporters and opponents of this bill. And then they also took a vote on this bill. So there were testimonies.
So I've read some of the talking points from the other side on this, the National Dismemberment Action League, NARAL, and Planned Parenthood, and I want you to respond to these, because I assume that NARAL was out in force testifying why they believe that dead babies should be treated like common garbage. I assume they were there in trying to oppose this bill, as they did last month. Oppose, they supported discriminating against Down syndrome children. This month they're opposing treating dead babies as human beings and providing a proper cremation or burial. But I assume that they dealt with some of these questions. This is what NARAL has said, at least in their talking points. They say it's not medically necessary. Did any of the opponents to treating preborn babies who have been killed humanely, did they bring up that it's not medically necessary, this bill?
Yeah, they did. Jamie Miracle of NARAL was actually the first opponent testimony, and this was one of her points, that this bill is not medically necessary, and therefore it's just here to shame women that are getting abortions.
So what did she mean? I mean, I assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, she must be saying that it's not medically necessary because we can kill a baby using typical abortion methods, and this isn't necessary in order for us to kill them.
Exactly.
Is that the point?
Exactly.
Okay.
Still what happened, that child, that human can be killed, and then this still isn't necessary to make sure that human body is buried or cremated.
You know, it is necessary that, say a born human being dies, right? Or for that matter, is killed in an accident or any other means. We treat that body humanely. We provide a proper burial, a funeral. We treat them like we should, as being created and made in the image of God. We do that for born people. Apparently, they don't believe that we should treat preborn. Well, obviously, they're killing them. They support killing them. Why would they want to treat them like we treat born people and provide a proper burial? I get it. So that's one of their arguments. Okay. The other one was they say it harasses abortion providers and women, it shames them. How is that? How does it shame a woman who's having an abortion to provide a proper burial or a cremation for the aborted baby? How did they manage that one?
Well, they didn't really want to go into detail on that, Mark. I think exactly because of the point that you're trying to make. If this woman has to sign a document for abortion 24 hours before saying either she wants the baby's body to be buried or cremated, and she has that choice, when she fills out that form, she's going to realize if this aftermath of my abortion needs to be buried or cremated, that's because I'm aborting a human being, because I'm aborting my child. And what that's going to do is going to lead that woman to see the humanity, the dignity, and the value of her child, and could definitely lead her not to desire the abortion anymore when she realizes the humanity of her child. And that's exactly what they don't want to happen.
I see. So NARAL, the National Dismemberment Action League, believes that if you tell women the truth, if you tell them or give them the option that they can cremate or provide a proper burial for their aborted baby, that somehow shames them. In other words, they want to keep them in the dark, right?
Exactly.
All right. The last one, it was a burden for women. It's a burden for women who kill their babies, these women and the abortionists. It's a burden for them. These poor abortionists, we all ought to cry crocodile tears right now. These people who kill children, it's a burden for them to have to decide how they want to take care of the remains of that individual. I guess I don't get that one. Did they bring that one up?
They brought up they were worried about the cost of this because they want the abortion to be as cheap for the woman as possible.
Okay.
It should be not expensive at all for this woman to kill her child. So therefore, if burial or cremation costs need to be added to the price of the abortion, it's going to make the price of abortion go up for women. So they want it to remain as cheap as possible to kill innocent human beings.
Yeah, they want cheap abortions so more people can have them, I assume.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Here's the deal. Obviously, we're opposed to abortion altogether. We want to abolish it absolutely together once and for all. But as long as it's legal, we should treat these children like human beings, created in the image of God. And they should be provided a proper burial or possible cremation. And why not give the woman that option as to how she wants to deal with it? Now, we all know that women given that option, as you say, will probably, many of them may choose life. Just the thought of the cremation or burial, they'll probably ask, well, why do I need to do that to a product of conception or, just a clump of cells? I mean, that obviously might lead them to the conclusion that they're human. But the abortion industry and the cartel, abortion companies, these mega death centers like Planned Parenthood don't want this bill to happen because they realize, once again, that it brings out the humanity of the preborn. It forces them now to treat them like they should be treated as human beings created in the image of God. And it adds more cost to the abortion, which they think will lead to fewer abortions. And folks, have you ever thought this wasn't about money? The fact that they would bring up money tells you everything you need to know. So if you would, Gabe, tell us what happened. Was there a vote, or is this just put off again for another day and we're going to have more testimony in the future?
Yeah, Mark, the committee actually did take a vote today.
Okay.
There were 11 members of the committee. One was not present, but they're still giving that senator time to vote. So right now, the vote was at 7 for this bill and then 3 against. The last senator who needs to vote before 4 p.m. today, though, is a Republican and will almost likely vote yes on this bill. So that's going to make the final vote 8-3, and this bill will be reported from the committee to the Senate floor.
So we got big news then coming out of Columbus here. This is breaking news. 7-3 vote on the fetal remains humane. What do they call it? Disposal of human remains, fetal remains, humane disposal. I'm not sure the name of the bill. SB 28 has passed the Ohio Senate Government Oversight and Reform Committee, and now will be brought to the floor of the Ohio Senate, hopefully fairly soon. Now, Gabe, I don't know if you know this, but what's the update with the House bill? There's a House bill like this one. It's very similar. What's the status of it?
Yeah, I think you're talking about House Bill 149. That bill would expand the crime for trafficking of aborted baby body parts like Planned Parenthood was doing and exposed for in 2015 and beyond. Increase the penalty for
what's the status of that bill, though?
abortion providers. That bill was actually, it was in the House Health Committee and it was removed from the agenda in June. So it was kind of set aside. It could be possible that this bill could be resurrected like Senate Bill 28 was.
Or they just take the Senate bill as their bill. That's possible too.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you updated, folks. Gabe, thanks for reporting to us live from the Ohio State House.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great news, big news coming out of the Ohio State House. 7-3, the Senate Bill 28 that deals with the humane disposal of fetal remains after abortion has passed the Senate Government Oversight and Reform Committee and now goes to the Senate floor for a vote of the Senate. And hopefully we can get something done in the House of Representatives as well in Ohio. So once again, Ohio's leading the way when it comes to legislation on abortion. And once again, our friends on the other side, Planned Parenthood and NARAL, are out there in force showing how absolutely extreme they are when it comes to killing babies. They not only believe that we should discriminate against Down syndrome children, we should kill them or give everybody the right to do that, but now they believe that they want to make certain that babies killed by abortion aren't treated humanely and they're treated like common garbage, thrown in the trash or landfills. They want to make sure that that keeps happening. That's going to be the practice, the abortion mills in the state of Ohio. Well, thankfully, the Senate hearing today passed the bill to make sure that that doesn't happen. So we'll keep you up to speed on this. Again, breaking news coming from the State House in Ohio. Senate Bill 28 passes a Senate hearing today and goes to a full vote on the Senate floor here, hopefully within the coming days. So thanks for tuning in. We'll keep you up to speed on this piece of legislation, other things happening in Ohio and across America regarding the abortion debate, legislation, and all that's coming down the pike here in Ohio and elsewhere. And folks, stay tuned. We're heading to the March for Life. We'll be coming to you live from there, as well as the Women's March, which will be on the mall there at the Lincoln Memorial, reaching out to those who go to support abortion on the nation's capital, in the nation's capital, in the National Mall next week. So God bless you. We'll see you next time on the Mark Harrington Show. Take care.
You've been listening to Mark Harrington, your radio activist. For more information on how to become a witness against the evil plague in America, call Created Equal at 614-269-7808, 614-269-7808, or go online to createdequal.net, createdequal.net. Be sure to tune to the Mark Harrington Show next time for your marching orders in the culture war.